This video is going to explain to you how to collect your evidence and compile it on your Google Doc. So during the next few weeks, as we talked about, you're going to be reading different sources and searching for evidence that will support your various subtopics, your various body paragraphs. So you want to be summarizing, paraphrasing, quoting the evidence, and then organizing it under the different subtopics on your notes document. So you're going to eventually need to read through 5 different sources. We've read Omnivore's Dilemma by Michael Pollan, Don't Blame the Eater by David Zinczenko, Food Marketing and Labeling by Johns Hopkins University, and you're going to choose two articles of your own choice. And we're going to go to the library on March 30th where you'll choose one of them, and then you'll be able to choose another online. So over spring break and in the next few weeks, I want you to scan through the different sources that we've read. And maybe you find one online too now, but you need to make sure that everyone in the group agrees on the source, and you have to make sure it's a valid source. You cannot use Wikipedia, you cannot use blog entries. They need to be basically valid and legitimate. So you're going to open up your Google Docs notes, and I'm going to show you an example in a second, but you're going to organize it into different subtopics, and then you're going to sort the evidence that you find into the different subtopics. You're going to write the evidence from the different articles in different colors, because as I mentioned, you want a variety of evidence in every paragraph, so color coding it by source will really help you make sure you're having that variety in your body paragraphs. And you're going to continue adding evidence as you read. This doesn't need to be complete by March 30th. You just need to have this as a working document that you will continue to add to and expand upon. So if you click right here, you'll see the example notes. And let me see, just want to expand. So as you did with your pre-writing and brainstorming handout, you guys are going to make a copy of this, and then you'll entitle it your group name, fingers, note-taking, whatever, right? And then click OK, and then you're going to organize it into your folder. That way, once you click, yep, here's my folder, you click Move, as you guys have already demonstrated and have done. That way everybody can collaborate on this document, and I can also see it. So here's an example of notes. And you'll want to probably start with your thesis statement. I just want to make a little note that thesis statements change. So you might start out with one initially, and as you research, you might discover that you need to change your research or your thesis statement, because whatever your evidence and your ISA shows needs to reflect the thesis statement, and this does change, so it can be flexible. But you should have a basic idea of your topic, right? So I'm interested in obesity in children as a result of marketing. So that's my thesis statement. And then I organize my different subtopics, right? Subtopics need to be large enough that you can collect lots of different evidence to fit into the subtopic, right? So I've got obesity as an epidemic, that's going to be explaining. And then I'm going to explore causes, marketing in schools, marketing online, digital marketing. And then my last subtopic is about regulations and solutions. And then I've got this working bibliography at the end. Remember, we're going to be using different sources and then creating a works cited. And I briefly mentioned that the works cited is the list of the sources that you used. And you need all of this information about the author, the publisher, the date published, right? All about the source so that you can direct your reader to this information if he or she wants to find out more. So this is really, really important to fill out all this information about your sources, and you should have 5. So as I read through the different articles in the book, I am starting to collect evidence that will fall under one of these subtopics. So obesity as an epidemic, I've collected all these different types of evidence here, and I'm going to write down the evidence, and I'm also going to write what type of evidence it is and the purpose of using the evidence. This shows me that you've really thought about the evidence, that you understand you need a variety, and that you're giving enough consideration, right? It's not just random evidence. So considering the purpose is really important too for evidence. So here I've got from a source called Fast Food Advertising. More TV watching equals more sugar intake for children. That's a paraphrase. It's fact evidence and it lends authority. So under guidelines for choosing evidence, you see the types of evidence and why you use them. I want you to include both of those. Then I talk about Zinczenko. He was a latchkey child, obese in the 80s. This is example evidence and it gives background. And you see I'm writing these things in different colors because I want to keep my evidence organized. So as I go to write my outline and I go to write my research paper, then I will be able to track which source the evidence comes from. And it also shows me that I have variety. These two things are really important. So then I also have the amount of calories available consumed in the US has risen exponentially. This is from Food Marketing and Labeling. Fact evidence gives background. And then I have probably a quote from Pollan. Obesity is an epidemic now due to the amount of processed food. And actually, I believe this is Einstein evidence because Pollan is an expert, and this lends authority to my claim. You can also add I say in there if you would like, okay, because it might help you to remember why you included this. So we have the purpose here, but then I need to explain this example, right? I want to say, what does latchkey child have to do with obesity now? This was in the 80s. I need my explanation. Zinczenko's childhood reality is still a reality today. Parents work all the time and children spend more time being bombarded by ads. Okay, so you can incorporate your I say in there between evidence, but this isn't really an outline. This is just organizing all of this evidence you find by topic. The next step after we have all of our notes will be to organize it into an outline, and I'll provide you guys with that template as well. So also I wanted to point out that your subtopics can be broken into 2 or 3 more subtopics, right? So I'm saying here's another cause, digital marketing. Maybe I'll have a full paragraph about marketing online and a full paragraph on marketing on TV. It just depends on how much evidence I get. So collect all your evidence here in this document, write the type of evidence and the purpose. You can include your I say if you need to remind yourself as to why you're using it, and this will help you later as well. So I say is analysis and explanation, and this will greatly facilitate the writing and outlining process. Okay, take some time to read through this document carefully and let me know if you have any questions about note taking. See you soon.